You know, it's kind of a big head scratcher about movies of the mid 1990s that the Oscars weren't recognizing the supporting actors in the movie. Now, LA Confidential, I think Kim Basinger played a very good part and pretty well deserved her Best Supporting Actress Oscar. But what about Kevin Spacey? What about Russell Crowe? What about James Cromwell? What about Danny DeVito? He had a great part as well as the, what do you call, the tabloid king who eventually comes of a negative end. L.A. Confidential is sort of the king of the film noirs of the 1990s. Curtis Hanson did the best. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of reception of the movie and the critical accolades he got. And like I said, no lead actor or supporting actor nomination for Crowe, DeVito, Cromwell, Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey. Now, the film was screened at the 1997 Cannes Film Festival. According to Hanson, Warner wanted to show it at Cannes because he felt there was an anti-studio bias, so why go and come home a loser? But Hanson wanted to debut the film at a high-profile international venue. He and other producers bypassed the studio and sent the print directly to the festival selection committee, which loved it. Elroy saw the film and said, "I understood in 40 minutes or so that it is a work of art on its own level. It was amazing to see the physical incarnation of the characters." Now, LA Confidential grossed $64.6 million in the States and $61.6 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $126 million. The film was officially released at the wide on September 1997 in 769 theaters, grossing $5.2 million the opening weekend and finished fourth behind In-N-Out, The Game, and Wishmaster. It made $4.4 million the second weekend, then expanded to 1,625 theaters and grossed $4.7 million in its third. Now, on review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, LA Confidential holds an approval rating of 99% and an average rating of 9 out of 10, one of the highest ever, with 162 of the 163 reviews being positive, mainly because of the multi-layered aspect of the movie. The site's critical consensus reads, "Taut pacing, brilliantly dense writing, and Oscar-worthy acting combined to produce a smart, popcorn-friendly thrill ride." The film later appeared on the top of the site's list of the 300 best movies of all time, a synthesis of critic and user reviews. On Metacritic, the film is weighted at an average score of 90 out of 100, based on 28 critics, including universal acclaim. Audience polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- or on an A+ to F scale. Now, film critic Roger Ebert gave the film 4 to 4 stars and described it as seductive and beautiful, cynical and twisted, and one of the best films of the year. He later included it as one of his great movies and described it as a film noir, and so it is, but as more. Unusually for a crime film, it details with the psychology of the characters. It contains all the elements of police action, but in a sharply clipped, more economical style. The action exists not for itself, but to provide an arena for the diverse personalities, and there's a few. In a review for the New York Times, Janet Mason wrote, "Mr. Spacey is at his insinuating best, languid and debonair in a much more offbeat performance than his film could have drawn from a more conventional actor. And the two Australian actors, tightly wound Mr. Pearce and fiery, brawny Mr. Crowe, qualify as revelations." Destin's Howell review for the Washington Post praised the cast. Pearce makes a wonderful prude who gets progressively tougher and more jaded. New Zealand-born Crowe has a unique and sexy toughness. Imagine Mickey Rourke without the attitude. He was playing Mickey Rourke, playing Russell Crowe. Although she's playing a stock character, Basinger exudes a sort of a chase sultriness. Spacey, again, is always enjoyable. In his review for the Globe and Mail, Liam Lacey wrote, "The big star is Los Angeles itself. Like Roman Polanski's depiction of L.A. in the 30s in Chinatown, the atmosphere and detailed production design are a rich gel where the strands of narrative form." Now, USA Today gave the film 3.5 stars out of 4. Writing, it appears as if screenwriters Brian Helgeland and Hansen have pulled off a miracle in keeping multiple stories straight. Have they ever? Elroy's novel has 4 extra layers of plot and 3 times as many characters. The writers have trimmed unwieldy muscle, not just fat, and gotten away with it. In his review for Newsweek, David Anson wrote, "LA Confidential asked the audience to raise its level a bit, too. You actually have to pay attention to follow the double and triple crossing intricacies of the plot. The reward for your work is dark and dirty fun." Richard Scheichel, in his review for Time, wrote, "It's a movie of shadows and half lights. the best approximation of the old black and white noir anyone has yet imagined on color stock, but is no ideal exercise in style. The film suggests how deep the tradition of police corruption runs. Writing in Time Out New York, Andrew Johnson observed, large chunk of Elroy's brilliant and often hilarious dialogue are preserved, and the actors clearly relish the meaty lines. Dante Spinotti's lush cinematography and Jean Oppowell's crisp, meticulous production design produce an eye-popping tableau of 50s glamour and sleaze. It's too bad only Lana Turner had a real-life character in there. In his review for the New York Observer, Andrew Cyrus wrote, Mr. Crow strikes the deepest registers with the tortured character of Bud White, a part that has had less cut out of it from the book than either Mrs. Pacey's or Mr. Pierce's. But Mr. Crow at moments reminds me of James Cagney's poignant performance in Charles Fedor's Love Me or Leave Me from 1955, and I can think of no higher praise. Kenneth Turin, in his review for the LA Times, wrote, the only potential audience drawback LA Confidential has is its reliance on unsettling bursts of violence, both bloody shootings and intense physical beatings that give the picture a palpable air of menace. Overriding that, finally, is the film's complete command of its material. In his review for The Independent, Ryan Gilby wrote, in fact, it's a very well-made, intelligent picture, assembled with the attention to detail, both in plot and characterization, that you might have feared was all but extinct in mainstream American cinema. Richard Williams, in his review for The Guardian, wrote, LA Confidential gets just about everything right. The light, the architecture, the slang, the music, a wonderful Lana Turner joke with Johnny Stoppanato. A sense above all of damaged people arriving to make new lives and getting seduced by the scent of night-blooming jasmine, the perfume of corruption. Some authors, again, have described LA Confidential as a neo-noir film. I think it's aspects of 5 different things. It's a procedural, it's a neo-noir, it's a film noir, it's a romance, and it's what they call an action movie. Now, Time magazine ranked LA Confidential the best film of 1997. So did the National Society of Film Critics, while Hansen was voted Best Director. The New York Film Critics Circle also voted LA Confidential the year's best film, in addition to ranking Hansen Best Director and his and Brian Hegeland's Best Screenplay. Now, the LA Film Critics Association and National Board Review also voted the movie the year's best film. As a result, it's one of 3 films in history to sweep the Big 4 Critics Awards alongside Schindler's List and The Social Network. It was also voted the best film set in LA in the last 25 years by a group of LA Times writers and editors with 2 criteria. The movie had to communicate some inherent truth about the LA experience, and only 1 film per director was allowed on the list. Now, in 2009, the London Film Critics Circle voted LA Confidential one of the best films in the past 30 years. Now, 9 Academy Award nominations: Picture, Director, Supporting Actor, Screenplay, Art Direction, Cinematography, Film Editing, Dramatic Score, and Best Sound. And, of course, Passenger and Hansen and Hegeland won their awards for Supporting Actress and Screenplay, respectively. Again, no male supporting actor nominations. Now, ironically, the British Academy Award nominated Kevin Spacey in a leading role, which I think he's supporting, but that's just me. And it won, the only BAFTA it won was for Best Editing and Sound, of course. At the Cannes Film Festival, Curtis Hansel was nominated for the Palme d'Or. Critics' Choice Awards, Best Picture, Best Screenplay Adapted. Kevin Spacey was named Best Actor at the Empire Awards. Golden Globe Awards, no nominations for the actors. 1 Best Supporting Actress for Passenger, nominated for Picture, Director, Screenplay, and Original Score. The loss for Screenplay. The Japan Academy Film Prize, it got the Best Foreign Language Film. LA Film Critics, Best Screenplay. London Film Critics, Film of the Year, Director and Screenwriter. LA Film Critics won every award except for Best Supporting Actor, Kevin Spacey, and Production Design for runners-up. The National Board Review, Top 10 Film, Best Director. National Film Preservation Board, inducted in the National Film Registry. National Society of Film Critics, Best Film, Best Director. Second place, Best Supporting Actor. Best Screenplay, second place, Best Cinematography. New York Film Critics, Film, Director, Screenplay. Online Film and Television Association Awards, Best Adapted Screenplay. Producers Guild, producer of theatrical motion pictures for Milchin, Hansen, and Nathanson. And again, Satellite Awards, Best Screenplay again. So won a ton of awards. Writers Guild of America won as well. Now, the VHS and DVD of the movie were co-released on April 14, 1998. In addition to film, the later release included 2 featurettes, an interactive map of LA, a music-only track, a theatrical trailer, and 3 TV spots, released on DVD and Blu-ray in September 2008, which is the 2-disc special edition. You can find it. Now, the 20th Century Fox Entertainment re-released it on September 26, 2007. Now, there was a proposed sequel with no studio took it on. This was in 2020. The movie had been developed before the death of Chadwick Boseman, who had played the young cop working for LA Mayor Tom Bradley, named James Muncie. Crowe and Pierce would have reprised their roles, and the film would have been set in 1974. I think that would have been a good thing, but Chadwick's passing stopped that. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite movies of all time. Just talk about the accolades. I don't want to give away the plot too much, so you have to see it for yourself. If you like what you're doing here with our 1990s film tributes, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.